guys. Okay. So the other day I posted these hats that I made, and between Instagram and Facebook and the group, I got tons and tons and tons of requests for the pattern and a tutorial. And to be honest, I didn't have a pattern at the time. I had seen it on Pinterest and I really liked it, but it was a needle knit pattern. So I just tried it with some scrap yarn and they came out really nice. So this is the first one I did. And then this was the second one. Everyone seems to really like the purple one. But it's super simple. So I wrote out the pattern the other day and posted it. And when I post this video, I'll put the pattern with it too. It's really simple. It's mostly E-wrap. It doesn't take a lot of yarn because, first of all, it's a hat. And especially if you're going to do 5 colors like I did, most of this is scrap yarn. You can do any amount of colors you want, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I did 5 on both of mine just because that's how the first picture I saw was, so I stuck with it. I'll be doing one tomorrow with just 2 colors, so we'll see how that works out. But when I have the pattern written down, it's for 5 colors. You can adjust it however you want, and you can adjust the rows however you want. I have mine basically as 2 rows of 2 colors and then 1 row of a solid, and then sorry, my kids barged in, so I kind of lost my train of thought. Backtracking, the pattern I have written out is for how these hats are exactly. So it's 2 rows of the mixed colors, so 2 colors, and then a row or 2 of solid, and then adding a new color, and so forth and so on. Feel free to play with it. Change your rows, change the numbers, however you want to do it, however many colors you want, just play with it. That's exactly what I did. This is basically just to show you the technique on how to carry your yarn over so that you don't have to cut and tie as much, and how to wrap it to get the polka dots. They're not really dots. How to get the different colors. I don't even know what term to use. Okay, so this is the one that I have on the loom that I've started. For the brim, I've done all my brims the same. So it's all of these are adult hats. So adult women's hats. So it's the 36 peg loom. And the brim, so this is the brim. It's kind of a wide brim. My husband says it's way too big. He's wrong. It's a chain cast on and then a simple rib stitch, so knit 1, purl 1. All the knits in the entire hat are E-wrap. You can do any different kind of knit stitch you want, but just know once you change the knit stitch, you probably have to change your loom size and your row count and so on. So this is all for E-wrap. So the brim is 11 rows of knit 1, purl 1, so it doesn't curl, gives it a nice look. After the brim, I do the brim in 1 solid color. After the brim, I do 2 rows of E-wrap in the same color as the brim color. On this one, I had already started my second color when I realized it was a good time to do a video. So I tried to finish up that second color so that I could start at a, so I wasn't like in the middle of a color when I started. So I've already done 2 rows with this pink color and the original tan color, and now I'm about to tie on my 3rd color. So if I can decide which color I want my 3rd color. So all of this yarn right here is, most of it I believe is Red Heart. It's all scrap yarn, but it's all a 4-weight. So I'm using 2 strands since I'm using a standard gauge loom. Alright, let me put my yarn guide on. Alright, I'm using my laptop for the first time, so work with me on trying to get everything adjusted so that we can see and have the loom and the shot and everything. That's always hard when you have a new setup. Alright, let's take this down some. Ta-da! Okay, so this is my working yarn. This is what's on the loom right now, and I'm going to add this mustard color. All I'm going to do is take this mustard and tie it in just a regular knot onto my working yarn. Once you get it on, slide it as close to the peg as you can get it, and then tighten it up. Okay, so you now have two different colors. Now, your hat's gonna have a lot of these little ties on the inside. The more colors you use, the more you'll have. Don't worry about those. Just leave them there and we'll finish those at the end. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this color, my pink. And since it's already on the loom, there's nothing to worry about. We don't have to avoid holes right now. So we're going to E-wrap every other peg. So this is peg 1. And we're just going to E-wrap. So you'll skip these pegs, wrap a peg, skip a peg, so you just bring your yarn behind it like it's not even there. Wrap this peg. Let's see if I can get it a little closer. Alright, so we'll skip this next one, wrap this guy, skip, wrap. And you're just going to go all the way around. Making sure not to tangle your yarn because that happens super easily. Alright, once you get to that last peg, go ahead and knit over so it locks it in so that you don't lose all of the pegs that you have wrapped, so they don't all pop off. Alright, so now we're going to do the mustard color. Now when we do this, let's see how we can do this best. See if we can get it to stand up. You're going to take this next color and you're going to wrap it over this yarn. So take it under, so it now makes an X, and then so you take it under and then back over. So you've now twisted it. So it's got a nice, you can see the twist in it. Well, you probably can't from there. But see, it's twisted. And then you'll just pull that second color over to the side and not even worry about it right now. And when you do this and you twist it like that, that's going to keep it from having any holes at your color change. Let me show you. So this row right here is where I did my color change, but there's no holes or gaps, because when you twist the yarn like that, this is the inside where I've tied all my colors together. You'll tie them, and when you twist it, it pulls that stitch closer together, and you have no open holes and gaps. Alright, so we're going to take this, and all the pegs that we didn't wrap the first time with the pink, we're now going to wrap with this color, whichever color you choose. And it's just a simple E-wrap where you wrap all the way, oh, my cake's upside down, that's fine. Simple E-wrap, so you just wrap all the way around your peg, and go all the way around the loom, until you get to the end. Alright, and then go ahead and knit that one over so that you have it in place too. So now, each of your pegs should have two loops, and every other one should be a different color. So now that you're done with that, we just knit every single one of those over. And you can play with this pattern as much as you want. You can do every other peg, every third peg, however you want. I just am basically making this just like my first two, so I did every other peg. But you can work it however you want. You can play around and experiment and see which way you like best. I think on the first color change on this one I actually missed a few pegs, and there are some that are doubled up and some that are kind of wonky, but we're going to pretend like it's supposed to be that way. Alright, so now that all those are knit over, we're going to do our next row. Our next row, so we're going to start back with the pink. So what you need to do, you're going to take your pink, or your whatever color, you're going to bring it under that color that you were using, and then back over so that it makes that crisscross again. Yarn guide. For those of you who don't know because you're new, this is a yarn guide. It's just a straw that I've cut that you feed your yarn through, and it helps your tension. It makes wrapping your pegs a lot faster as well, but it helps your tension not be as tight. Okay, so now we're going to wrap all the pegs that we wrapped with our second color. So all the pegs that have this mustard color, we're now going to wrap with the opposite color. So last time we started with peg 1, this time we're going to start with peg 2, and we're going to wrap all the even pegs. So everything that's got your opposite color. Oh no! There we go. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I've got so much stuff on my desk going on that I'm calling everything over here. Okay. And just keep going all the way around, and then once you get to that last peg, go ahead and knit it over. Alright, and now we're going to twist our yarn again, so we're going to get this second color here. That's caught somewhere down here. Where is it caught at? There it is. Okay. So we're going to take our new color that we need to start working with and go under the old color and then back over top. Sorry, all this off-screen stuff is me just trying to keep my yarn separated so it doesn't tangle. Alright, so you're just going to cross it so it makes that nice little crisscross. And now we're going to wrap all of these pegs that didn't get wrapped the first time. So now that we're working with the yellow, there should be a pink loop below all of these yellow loops. I've got my yarn tangled again. That's what I was trying not to do. It's really getting stuck on absolutely everything over here. Alright. Okay. And again, when you get to that last peg, go ahead and knit over so it keeps everything in place. Okay, and now we're going to knit all of these over. Knit, knit, knit. And you can do as many rounds of this as you want. You can do the entire hat like this. You can do hope I didn't miss a peg. Kind of looks like I did though. You can do 3 rows, 4 rows, alternate as many times as you want, add in new colors, however you want to do this. I'm gonna do one more row of these colors just to show you the yarn wrapping technique one more time. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the pink yarn. Ta-da! Pink yarn. Okay, so we're gonna bring it under this yellow yarn, after I get it all untangled. Hold on. This is a crazy mess over here. Alright, so we're going to bring the new yarn under the old yarn and then back over top. I'm just going to scoop my cake over here so it doesn't entangle. Okay. And we're going to, again, wrap every other peg. So the last time we started with yellow on peg 1, so this time we're going to start with pink on peg 1. So wrap every other odd peg. Get to the last one. Go ahead and pop that guy over. Alright, so now we need the yellow. So we're going to bring the yellow underneath the pink. See how it makes the X? And then back over top. So we're going to twist it and pull the old yarn just out of the way. And so now we have our new yarn twisted over top. Alright, so let's go wrap all those pegs that didn't get wrapped the last round. Wrap, wrap, wrap. Wrap. Get my tail down there. And that's the last one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So when you get to the last one, go ahead and knit that guy over. And now I'm going to go ahead, just to make life easier, because I'm done with my pink. I'm not going to be using it anymore. I try to leave a good few inches. And I'm just going to cut it, because I am done with the pink for this hat. And you want to leave, when you cut your yarn, you want to leave a little bit of a tail, because you'll be tying all these ends together to close up all the holes. And also, if you like to weave your ends in, I don't always trust just the knot, so I always weave it in while I tie it. So leave yourself a little bit of extra so you have room to do that. Okay, so we're going to knit all this over. And that will be that. And then it's just repeat. I do at least one solid between my rows, but that's just how I like to do it. You can keep up with this pattern. You can do a few solid rows before you tie on your next color, however you want to do it. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a solid row just so I can show you how to tie on the next color one more time, just to be thorough. Alright, so this is what it's looking like so far. So we've got, and the lighting in here is absolutely horrible, so I apologize for that. It's already nighttime outside where I'm at. Okay, so when you're doing your hat, you'll notice this looks really, really loose up here, and it looks like there's these big gaps. That's because it's still so close to the loom. As you can see down here, because this has already fallen off the loom, these stitches are falling into place. So this is what it will look like, you know, after it gets further off the loom. I have a lot of people that tell me they take their stuff off the loom and start over because they didn't like the way it looks, but it won't look like this forever. Like those big holes that you can see through, it won't look like this. Like, same yarn, same loom, all 2 strands of 4, and like I wear this one. I wore this one today to Michael's actually when I had to pick up some yarn for an order, and I had 4 people tell me how nice it was and how much they liked it. I had a lady try to buy it off my head in Walmart. And then my son absolutely loves this one. He's silly. He wears this one all the time, and this one's super thick, super cozy, but as you can see, there's no gaps. after it falls off the loom and all those stitches fall into place, you're fine. You're good. It's just because it's still stretched from being on the loom. Alright, so let's go ahead and do one round of the solid color. Put you back down here so you can see. Alright, so I'm just going to E-wrap every single peg. Every single peg. Uh-oh. My yarn's dancing around. Okay. Wrap, 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 wrap. And this is where the yarn guide makes it go super fast. It's a lot easier to wrap pegs with a yarn guide than your hand. Alright, and then we're going to knit all those over. Oh no! Make sure when you knit that last peg over that's got your yarn color that you knit off, or that you cut, that you're careful because it's loose and it will pull. That's another reason you want to leave a decent tail, is so that when you knit over you don't pull it completely out. Because I have done that before. And that's no fun. Okay, so get all these over. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Knit, 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 knit. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Push all those down. Alright, so now you're going to get your next color. Yellow. That works. We're going to do yellow. It's sitting right here. Alright. So you're going to take your 2 strands, because it's a 4-weight tail. Okay. Thread our yarn guide. Alright. So, we're going to take this new color right here. This is our old working yarn, and we're just going to tie a knot. Tie the yellow to the mustard, and then slide that knot all the way down as close as we can to the peg, and then tighten it up. Alright, we are going to start with the color that's already on the loom so we don't have to twist anything. It's already on there. And we're going to start wrapping with peg 1. So every other peg gets wrapped in this color. Uh-oh. Tangling my yarn already. And when you get to that last peg, go ahead and knit over. For any of you who have not seen my videos before, I am not very technical. I'm very simple. I've been told that's why people like my videos, because I make it easy. So, excuse my lack of terminology and professionalism. Okay, so we're back at the beginning, and now we need to use our new color. We're going to take our new color under that old color, which will make an X, and then take that new color over. So under and then over, and now it's nice and twisted. Alright, and now we're going to wrap all the pegs that did not get wrapped in that first pass. Oh, I like these colors together. I wasn't sure about that at first. I just picked up the color that was closest to me, but I like it. Okay, that's it. And then knit that one over. Alright, and now we're going to knit everything over for this row. And that's that. Super simple, super easy. Like I said, you can do this with a different type of knit stitch. I started with E-wrap just because it's the fastest. I do want to make one in a nicer U-wrap, tighter stitch. I just haven't got around to it because I've had so many orders and so much craziness going on in my life. But maybe that will be the next one I make. I'm making one for myself soon, so, I say soon, eventually. So maybe that's how I'll do it. But anyway, so there we go. So that's it so far. And you'll just keep doing that. You'll keep alternating rows with your two colors, and when you're finished with your hat and you cast off whichever way that you prefer to cast off, you close the top of your hat and you'll turn it inside out. There you go. You'll have all of your color changes right here in a row, and I just take mine and I tie them together, and I tie a few knots, and then I'll take that color and I'll weave it into the stitch closest to it and tie it to that stitch, and then I'll tie it to the color above it. Like, I'm super crazy about my knots. I don't want anything coming loose, especially if I'm selling it to someone or if it's for someone else. So there's tons of knots, but I always make sure they're nice and neat. I know this doesn't look neat, but I promise that one's for me. This one looks a lot nicer. There we go. And make all, so you can barely even tell this one. And make sure everything's nice and neat and tied in, and well, except for that, I didn't tie that in. And then for the pom-pom, I just use the extra large, well, maybe it's just the large, the biggest one in my set, clover pom-pom maker, and I just take all the colors that I've used in the hat and wrap it. And this one doesn't have the green in it because I ran out of green by the time I made my pom-pom. But like this, and I still haven't cleaned this pom-pom up because my child immediately took it from me and started wearing it. Like, you need to cut the frillies off. But yeah, you just make your pom-pom and tie it or attach it to your hat, and that's it. You're done. When I post this, I'll post the pattern that I have written up. I am not good at writing patterns. It's super simple and super basic. So if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to walk you through it, because I'm not good with all this terminology, and I'm not technical about stuff. I'm just very simple, and I like to make it as easy as possible. So yeah, that's that, and I will see you guys later. Bye.